Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you're new here, simply welcome. I'm Angel, aka the Angelic Muse, and I'm back here with another pick a card reading today. So this one's focus will be on what you need to release or let go of. So we have three piles here for you today to choose from. So for pile one, we have the Apophyllite. First of all, before I get into this, I told y'all, if you ever watched any of my other videos, that I'm not good with these crystal names. So don't beat me up in the comments if I don't know these names. I know nobody's really that hostile to do that, but I'm just saying I would actually love to be enlightened when I get to doing this, because I am going to use my crystals. And when I put them down, I'm just going to say, you got this one, this one, this one. If I can't find the name, I'm going to try to do my research first. But I don't know. This is just a little side note. I just had to say it because this is my channel and I had to put that out in the air, that when I do these moving forward, I'm just not necessarily going to know the name. So anyway, pile one, we have the Apophyllite. For pile two, we have the Snowflake Obsidian, I believe it is. And then for pile three, we have the Unakite. So all timestamps will be down below, as well as my website, www.theangelicmuse.com. That's where you can book me for a personal intuitive tarot session, as well as a distance Reiki session. I do both 30 minutes and an hour as well, or 45 minutes, I'm sorry. So you can book me there for that. And all decks will be listed down below as well if you're interested in them at all. But yeah, other than that, also you can follow me on Instagram, where I post random pick a cards, astrology facts, intuitive guidance, whatever comes to my mind, So it's not my personal, but it is like one that, so yeah, like I would definitely love to connect with whoever's watching on there. Anyway, so let's get into your reading, you guys. I will meet you at your timestamp. Hey, Power One, welcome to your reading. If you chose the Apophyllite crystal, here's your reading. So, I'm going to start out with your tarot. So, your first card is the Knight of Wands. Second card is the Page of Swords. Third card is the Fool. And then your fourth card is the Wheel of Fortune. So, let's make sure they're in the camera right. Anyway, so, let me see. I think what you need to release or let go of is the need to time things, I'll say. Not even the need to, I just get like this rush job type feeling, like where you just feel like you need to hurry up and do things and get this done. I got to get that done. I got to think about this and worry about that. Whereas that's not necessarily going to, it's good to aim high and, and to be ambitious and things like that, but that's not necessarily going to get you where you need to go or want to go faster. Because with this Fool card here in reverse, it's just kind of, to me, it's like not throwing caution to the wind. You're throwing caution to the wind. Whereas this is kind of like, saying to slow down a little bit and to kind of think about what it is that you're doing. It's giving me reckless energy with this Knight of Wands. And not only that, but the Wands and Swords are the fastest timing cards in the tarot. So it's just, you slowing down would be beneficial to you, because with this Wheel of Fortune here, when you get to the moments where you realize like, okay, it was going to happen for me anyway, or things were going to, the moment was fated to be this way anyway, then you'll realize like, okay, I didn't need to do all of that in the first place. And hindsight is always 2020. So you want to look at, previous experiences, if you have any, where you may have done a rush job, or not even a rush job, but you're just overthinking or overanalyzing or overdoing it, and you realize in the end, like, I really didn't have to do all that. So the same situation certainly would apply here, you know what I mean? So, because you're not defined by how much you do, it's quality over quantity is a real thing, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that whatever it is that you're focused on, or whatever your goals are in this life, are actually being led by something bigger than your ego. You just want to make sure that you're not recklessly putting yourself in positions that you end up regretting in the end, because, or not even regretting, where you're like, oh, you may fall short and then doubt yourself and be like, oh, I can't do anything at this point. And not to say that you're that type of person, but some people are, especially like hard workers or like overachievers and things like that. They tend to kind of go extremely one way or extremely the other. And if you're that type of person, you want to give yourself more grace and more patience, because you're going to get wherever it is that you want to go. You already have the drive and the ambition. Like, you already, like, it's not a matter of something you're doing wrong here. It's just that too much of anything isn't a good thing. There's literally too much of anything is never good for you. So, or either it's never good for you, or you find out that it wasn't really all that in the first place. So, you just want to make sure that you are not jumping the gun and overexerting yourself to the point where you find yourself like kind of maybe backing out of things altogether, because that's not the way to necessarily achieve the goal. Okay, so anyway, let's get into your oracles. So for your first card, you have Hold Your Vision, Fixed Moon. That's from the Moonology Oracle deck. And then from the Lesson Oracle decks, you have Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. And Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. So yes, both these, well, all three, but both of the lesson cards just go back to what I was saying here. Like, what is meant for you is already yours. Your main focus and concern should be on your well-being as you are attaining that goal. You don't want to burn yourself out or cause yourself to have these obstacles or delays just based off of, you wanting to go about it so quickly, or want it in your timing, because God's timing or Spirit's timing is not our timing. It's not even set up the same way. So, you just have to, like this Moonology Oracle deck says, hold your vision. That's all. It's your main concern. Just focus on what it is that you want, and then carefully and pragmatically actually take the steps that are necessary in order to get there. I don't even use the word pragmatically. I'm going to have to look that up, because I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, let me read this Moonology Oracle deck. It is on page 106. I actually read this in one of my last readings too. There are two main possibilities with this card. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. The second, very different interpretation, is that something is stuck. That could be well referring to the situation you're asking about. If that's the case, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so that events move forward. Are you being stubborn? If so, that's great, because if you really want to change things, there's a solution. Stop digging your heels in. Be the one to break a deadlock. With two interpretations for this card, it's up to you to decide what's going on and which meaning applies to you. This offers up a chance for some self-reflection. So, I'll go over the teaching in a minute, but I just want to say that, with the two main possibilities with this card, essentially it's up to you to decide as the person getting the reading which one it is. But from my interpretation, it seems like it could honestly be both. You do need to stand firm in the fact that you want these things. It could be taken either way. You do want to stand firm in the fact that you want these things, you want these goals. But at the same time, you do need to admit the fact that you're stuck, because you keep ending up in these situations where you're either burnt out, or you are delayed, or you are having an obstacle somewhere else down the line, or you just can't seem to find your footing in one thing or another. And it's like, if you just slow down and just really prioritize what's important, as opposed to the maybe it could be anything from the tangible material things, like, it's definitely more than that. You want to make sure you are maybe checking your ego and checking your reason behind why you're doing it in the first place, if you're in overdrive in the way that you are. And that's not to say you're doing anything wrong. It's just to say we all have to check ourselves sometimes. Like, let me slow down and take a minute to really see what's going on here. You're no different than anybody else. You want to take care of yourself. Yeah. Going into the success and the doubt, I really still need to know all the answers. If this is a matter of like, will I get it? You will get it. If you read tarot and you've had confirmation, this isn't your first reading, that you will get it, then you'll get it. You know that the answer is already a yes, but at the same time, you really don't know because you don't see it. But it's like, you don't need to know all that right now. The journey has so many lessons and so many steps that are so beneficial to the destination. Like, once you get there, you want to know everything you can. So you want to just take it all in slowly and cautiously and carefully, and make sure that you are doing what it is that you need to do in order to attain your success. And the teaching, I said I would go back into it, because it says, in astrology, there are 3 quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You could be either of those signs. You don't have to be, but the fixed signs can be stubborn. So anything that's just starting with you, that's just starting as you draw this card, may well last longer. Remember, we each have all the star signs in our chart. It's just the way the astrological wheel works. So there's no judgment when we say that while it's admirable how much staying power the fixed signs have, they can also be obstinate. So yes, I wanted to read the teaching out, because if you are a fixed sign, I'm not. So but I do know what it's like to be stubborn. But I do know that for others it could be a lot more difficult, and just, it may be difficult to get out of something that you're used to doing, but it's even harder to stay there. You know what I mean? Like, you have to, it's better to flow with life than to go against it. It really is. So just do your best, give yourself grace, be patient with yourself and your goals, and try to just release some of the control, or that you think you have, because essentially, you end up in these things you don't have as much as you would like. So you try to force it in other areas. Like, it doesn't work that way. So if you can try to work on that and release that, then all should be good. But anyway, Power One, this is all I have for you. If this resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments. I apologize for all of the interruptions. I had my phone ring a couple times, but we're in order. So anyway, if you'd like to book me for a personal session, my links will be down in the bio. My links will be down below. Oh my gosh, why can't I talk today? Because I think what I'm doing right now is I'm just going as fast as this power's going. Let me slow down. Okay. If you'd like to book a personal session with me, my links will be down below in the description box, as well as my Instagram. You can follow me on there as well if you want to connect. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if this resonates with you. And yeah, thank you for listening in, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night. Hey, Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So if you chose the black and white snowflake, see, I told y'all I did not know crystals, names. Anyway, if you chose the snowflake obsidian, here is your reading. I told y'all. Told you. So your first card is the Emperor. Second card is the Three of Wands. And then your third card is the Empress. Fourth card is the Ten of Cups. Okay, so it feels like you need to release the need to control and the need to limit yourself, the need to overburden yourself with your emotions. It seems like a lot is going on with this pile. You have two major arcana that, while they do match nicely together, they still operate on two different frequencies. And then nothing's in reverse, but this is a release and let go reading. So to think of them in the aspect of what you need to release is just pretty heavy, and you need to releasing the need of releasing the what was I gonna say? I just hit the mic, y'all. I'm sorry. Releasing what your definition of happiness or success looks like would benefit you greatly. That would open you up to so many more possibilities and opportunities for yourself, that would allow you to let go of any expectations you have for yourself and others. Going back to this Emperor card with controlling, you may want to control every aspect dealing with you and other people, and that's not necessarily going to get you very far because, for one, you're only one person, and for two, everybody has their own life to live, including you. So you want to make sure that you're not limiting yourself as well as others in the process of living it. But with this Empress card, you don't necessarily have to be doing that or imposing yourself in others' lives in that way. I was just saying, if you are, this is a general, it's very collective, so I don't know who else watching. But in the event that you're not, and you're just like in this self-doubt or like feeling like fearful of the next step because you don't think you can do it, and you're not even allowing anybody, that's the kind of control it is, where it's not like I think I know better than you. It's more so I'm fearful of it. Then that's not good either, because I mean, how do you know that, really? You may have had experiences, and you may have had rejection, but rejection is just redirection. Like, you're still here, you still have opportunities to keep going, and like, try something else or try again with the same thing. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not limited in the way, and the way our minds tend to make us think sometimes, like, we can do anything once we get past that fear. Once we get past the need to control the the situation so much and say, oh, it has to work out this way or it's not going to work at all. No, like that's really not how it works. And I can say that the only reason I'm laughing is because I can say that from experience because I deal with that a lot. So where I'm like, I mean, I won't say a lot, but I'll say this, like, for example, like, and I'm not trying to throw myself in this reading, I'm just saying so we can relate because you're here with me. But like, say for example, with this whole collective reading thing, I'm more of a one-on-one type person. So like sometimes I get kind of like, I don't know if I can, read for a whole group. Like, what if it doesn't catch? What if everybody doesn't, and it's like, you know what, do it anyway. But my point here is that, if you continue to control and limit every aspect of your life or worry about what's going to happen, then you're just going to get there and then be like, oh, well, there was nothing to worry about in the first place. Like, it's not going to affect the outcome. Either it's going to work or it's not. But either way, you have to try. You can't keep, waiting, or you can't keep like telling yourself like, okay, this is it for me. Like, no, it's not it for you. Like, jump on that boat right there. Matter of fact, call them over, say, hey, can I get a ride with you over there to that mountain right there? Because that's where I want to go. Because if that wasn't where you wanted to go, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, why are you really outside of the fear, or outside of the need to control, or outside of the emotional burdens and the things that you've held on to in the past experiences, and the hurt and the whatever it is that it may be that you're holding on to, outside of that, because you literally can work through all of that. You can literally work through all of that. So, and there are so many different ways of doing that, whether you're doing it alone or through, therapy, or just talking about it, or, I mean, tarot helps too, so there's so many different outlets to help you work through these things. But at the same time, you have to be willing to do what's necessary for your case or situation. You know what I mean? Like, it's different for everybody. So, but there's so many different things, like, just to get yourself started. But let me read your oracle. So for your moonology, you have take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. And then your lesson cards are judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And worry, I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And you know what I'm noticing about all this is so purpley blue. Like, it's giving me third eye like vibes, like that, or throat chakra here. But I mean, it's still got a little purple in it, little bluish violet. But either way, maybe working with these two chakras, the throat with breath work, or the third eye, just meditation, just sitting in silence, just quieting yourself from everybody else and from everything, even yourself, like, just for a moment. Because worry says, I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. And judgment says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Like, even now, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even know if in Power One I read that bottom part. I think I just read the word. But you know what? I'm not about to judge myself. Why? Because I'm going to keep going. This is your pile. So anyway, let me read your moonology oracle. It says, the intensity of the full moon has abated, and what are we left with? That's what this card is asking you. It suggests that the situation you're asking about now has now peaked, and it's time for you to regroup and learn from your experiences rather than blindly forging ahead. Have faith that what is happening is for the best. Try to accept the way things are now and give yourself and others time out to relax. Breathe. We can't be on all the time. If you feel you've hit an obstacle or even failed in some way, now is the time to reflect on how to do things differently next time. Be honest with yourself if you feel bad about your current situation, and then remind yourself that life goes in cycles. And then it says the teaching is the disseminating moon is the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. No matter when you pick this card, it suggests you're at a more tranquil point in the light cycle of whatever situation you're talking about. This is not the ideal time to start something new. The disseminating moon is the time to breathe out. Give yourself some time off and think about what has passed. So, yeah, you just want to make sure that you are, like this says, being honest with yourself, for one. Like, you don't want to necessarily beat yourself up. That's not being honest, but you do want to be real with whatever it is that you're going through, or whatever it is that you're dealing with, or emotional burdens and things that you're dealing with, so that you're able to then say, okay, I can release this. I don't have to hold on to this because it's not serving me, and it never really was. This judgment was never serving me in the first place. And yeah, like I was saying before, going back to defining what your success looks like to you in your mind, you want to accept things for how they are now, as opposed to what you think they should look like, because that's not necessarily the end. Like, that's not your mind. Is We have to admit here that your mind is being limited by something, and that needs to be released in order for you to free it up, so that you're able to move on to the next phases in life, and so that you're able to release these burdens that you seem to have. But yeah, just, I mean, even with this moon, I've never heard disseminating moon before, but it says it's the first moon phase after the explosion of energy that comes with the full moon. So maybe this full moon here that's coming up on the 3rd is tomorrow, but I don't know when I'm gonna post this. So maybe that'll give you some time to just sit back and breathe and really take it all in and release, because full moons are for releasing. So if you're into, you know, doing any type of rituals, or because I do, so if you're like me, then I wasn't gonna say that because I know some girls are just tarot girls, but I'm a witchy girl. I like to, yeah. But anyway, if you're into that kind of thing, do a paper burn. Write down whatever it is that you want to get rid of, and burn it. Burn it with fire. Fire is fast moving. Anyway, how to. This is all I have for you. I thank you so much for being here with me. If this resonated with you, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments how it resonates. My booking info will be below as well if you want to book a personal session with me, as well as all my links. My Instagram will be down there if you want to connect there. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Last but not least, pile 3. If you chose the Unakite crystal, here is your reading. So starting out with your tarot. Your first card is the 3 of Cups. Second card is the King of Wands. Third card is the King of Swords. And then your fourth card is the Death card. So, what you need to release or let go of is okay, so I'm just going to go into it. So what I'm saying here is, these are you, and this looks like, it just feels to me like you're just more focused on maybe partying, or not necessarily being irresponsible, but just being like relaxed in your priorities, or just like fiery type, like just fun. And it's nothing wrong with being fun, let me say that, but just maybe overindulgence of the fun. That would be what I'll say here. It just seems like you're in this role that is of authority, and it's of importance, and you're not necessarily taking the steps needed in order to or required. Because with this King of Swords and the Death card here, these are like two totally different people. Like, these are two totally different sides of you, really. And this is what you could be if you would just um you know, put more effort into the more logical aspects of life, or the more responsible, because these are both kings, yes, but they have two different energies. The King of Wands is more aggressive, he's more fire, and you don't have to be masculine or a man. You just it's just giving me well, they're kings, so I'm just describing the king. So um but yeah, their energy is just like, he's just like on go all the time, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just chill out a little bit. So no, but seriously, with this King of Wands, it's like you see these beautiful butterflies over your head. That's just what you could be if you would just blossom and just go into that uncomfortable, weird stage of life, and face the death of your ego, essentially, because that's the only thing that's really keeping you clinging to this side. And it's like, for what, when you have so much more ahead of you. And the thing about the death card is, even death itself, not to be weird or anything, but it happens whether we like for it to or not. So essentially, the transformation in itself happens. Change in life, that's a constant, regardless of what's going on, with you. Whether you staying still, everything else around you still going to change. So why not just flow and, you know, see what else is out there other than what is limiting you here? Because I mean, like I said, you have so much potential, and you don't want to ride on potential forever. You actually want to invest in that and put forth the effort that you need to gain what it is you want, essentially. So I don't know, I just would. And again, like I said, it's nothing wrong with being fun and having that side of you. It's just having a balance is what you would need. You want to release the need to do it all the time or as much as you do, because it's still going to be there. The fun will still be there. I mean, maybe there are things in here that you do need to release entirely in order to get here, because if you're corrupting your body or abusing anything in any way, then yeah, you definitely want to relax on that, because that's detrimental in itself. I don't think anybody'd ever condone that in their right mind. So I'm in my right mind here. So here we go. Anyway, let me get into your oracle. Your Moonology says, and one thing I want to say about this real quick, I'm sorry, before I get into your tarot, is this. I'm also, it just seems real uncomfortable over here as opposed to over here. Like, I don't know if you are just in a place where you feel stuck and you're like, okay, I'm just used to this, and but you feel the uncomfortableness creeping up on you. Like, you know it's something there. Like, you feel that itch, like, okay, this is not it for me. Like, I gotta do something else. You know what I mean? So if you feel that itch or you hear that calling, you want to answer that. You At some point you want to answer that, because you're going to have to anyway. So um it's just a matter of making it comfortable for yourself or not. So anyway, on to your tarot. So your oracle. Your oracle moonology says surrender to the divine full moon, and it's a full moon tomorrow. Hello. So I know you feel that itch. I know you feel like that uncomfortableness. I know you feel it. So let's just go with it. Okay. Your lesson cards say relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good, and perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Let me meet. Where's your surrender to the divine full moon? That is on page 32. And it says, the very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. And then the teaching of this card is the full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon, and pulling this card at any time in the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. So, that actually is pretty interesting to me because it kind of makes me think about the tarot here with all this, again, going back, like the moon. I mean, just catapulting yourself. I don't even know what word it was in here, but there was a word in there that just was used. But either way, you see how down here you're like with all this rigidness, and then up here, or over here with these people, they're rigid too, and then up here you're by yourself, but you still comfortable, you chilling, you got the butterflies with you. I mean, your people gonna come up there with you eventually, but you know, you're like kind of separating yourself from what doesn't serve you. And even with these relationships, I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. If you're around people that you know ain't for you, then get the I was about to curse, but it's 2:22 on the clock. Woo! I was about to curse, but get away from them. Like, that is not it. That is not it. That's not the wave, especially when you are trying to go somewhere in life. You know what I mean? Surrender to the divine. God got you. Like, you really don't need people around you that like they want to see you doing good, just never better than them, or they don't want to see you doing good at all because they ain't it either, or they got stuff that they dealing with that they need to heal from. Like, we all got stuff we need to heal from. Yes, I'm very much aware of that because I do too. But at the same time, you know the difference between whether or not somebody's actively trying to heal or whether or not they just BSing for the sake of it, you know, and you don't need that type of energy around you when you trying to go somewhere else. So, in perseverance, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. King of Swords energy, that's all air, that's all mental, that's all intellect. So, you know, you could do it as long as you put your mind to it. If you feel that itch, you feel it and you hear it, you think it, like, if it's affecting you like that, just cut it. You know, like, it's not, it definitely is a task. It may be difficult to do, but at the same time, if you know that greater is coming, please, you can do it. But anyway, pile 3, this is all I have for you. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated, please let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe. Also, my personal links would be down below if you would like to book a personal session with me. And you also can follow my Instagram as well. All my handles will be down below. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or night.